Have you ever looked up at the night sky and felt small? It's a feeling I know well. You're not just looking at stars, you're looking back in time. The light from our nearest stellar neighbor, Proxima Centauri, took over 4 years to reach your eyes. You're seeing it as it was 4 years ago. Time and space are woven together in a grand cosmic tapestry, a concept my friend Einstein called spacetime. This very idea that time is a dimension, length, width, height ignites a fundamental human curiosity. It makes us ask one of the most tantalizing questions imaginable. Can we travel through it? Can we move forward in time? Can we move backward in time just as we move left and right on the street? The dream of time travel isn't just for science fiction. It's a deep-seated human desire. So buckle up, we're about to push the laws of physics to their breaking point. Before we dive into the deep end of the cosmic pool, let's get our terms straight. What exactly is a paradox? It sounds like a complicated high-level concept, but it's really quite simple. A paradox is a statement or a situation that appears to contradict itself. It's a logical puzzle that seems to have no solution. Following the logic leads you to an impossible conclusion. Imagine I tell you, this statement is false. If it's true, it must be false. If false, it must be true. Your brain just hits a wall. That's a paradox in its purest form. Now apply this to the physical world. A physical paradox arises when our laws of nature lead to a scenario that shouldn't exist. It suggests either our understanding is incomplete or the scenario is impossible, like a traffic light telling you to go, but a brick wall right ahead. The rules say proceed, but reality is a crash. In time travel, paradoxes are the ultimate cosmic headaches. They appear when an action in the past could prevent that same action, timelines fold, loops eat their own tails, effects preceding causes. These thought experiments force us to confront the limits of our intuition. They challenge the linear A to B way we experience the world, and they tell us deeper truths about time and reality are waiting to be discovered. Let's get to the most famous, the most classic, the one everyone talks about at parties. I'm talking about the grandfather paradox. Imagine you built a time machine in your garage. It works. You take it for a spin. Set the dials for about 70 years into the past, searching for your grandfather. You find him, back when he was young and single. And then, you do something terrible. You cause an accident, and he dies. Trace the logic. If he dies young, he never meets your grandmother. If they never met, your parent wasn't born. So you were never born. You were never born. If you weren't born, you couldn't have built the time machine to go back and cause the accident, which means the mission that destroyed your grandfather never happened, which means he lived, and you existed after all. The logic loops back on itself into contradiction. This creates an inescapable contradiction. Your existence and non-existence locked in a logical battle. The timeline seems broken, causality violated. Some physicists propose a cosmic censorship or self-consistency principle. Maybe the universe has a built-in safety mechanism. Maybe as you go to push your grandfather into the path of a bus, you slip, or a bird poops in your eye, or your machine malfunctions and you land somewhere else. In this view, the universe edits reality to keep timelines consistent, a protective grid that prevents paradox-causing events. The paradox isn't about just your grandfather, it's any action that would prevent your trip to the past. The laws might conspire to stop you. If the grandfather paradox is about destroying the past, our next puzzle is about creating it out of thin air. This is the bootstrap paradox, also called a causal loop or ontological paradox. Ontology is the study of being. This paradox asks, where did something, an object, idea, or information originally come from? Imagine a huge fan of Shakespeare builds a time machine to meet the bard. He brings all the collected works, travels back to Elizabethan England, and searches for Shakespeare. To his horror, Shakespeare has never written a single play. Desperate, our traveler gives him the book and convinces him to copy it. Shakespeare copies the plays, history unfolds exactly as the traveler remembered. The plays are performed, become famous, and centuries later they are collected into the very book the traveler took back with him. Who wrote Hamlet? Shakespeare didn't. He copied it. The traveler didn't. He brought it back. The plays have no point of origin. The information is trapped in a closed loop, created from nothing, pulling itself up by its own bootstraps. This isn't just plays, it could be the schematics for the time machine itself. The machine may have no inventor, it simply is. It violates our intuition about origins. Everything we know usually has a beginning. A bootstrapped object has no beginning, it just is. At the heart of both paradoxes lies a fundamental concept: causality. Causality. Cause must always precede effect, the ultimate law of first this, then that. You light a fuse, the firework explodes. The sun emits light and we see it on Earth, cause before effect. This linear progression is the bedrock of physical reality. Every equation we write assumes time flows one way. Travel to the past creates potential for effect to precede its cause, an arrival before the decision to leave. Grandfather attacks the chain, Bootstrap makes information its own cause. Both threaten causality. Physics treasures conservation laws. Energy/mass are conserved. What about conservation of information? Some physicists argue information can never truly be lost. You can scramble information like burning a book, but in principle the information still exists in the ash. The Bootstrap paradox threatens that principle, information appearing from nothing. These paradoxes push our models of space-time to their limits, and force us to ask whether information laws are as fundamental as energy laws. You might think these paradoxes are just fun thought experiments, and they are, but for theoretical physicists, they're diagnostic tools. A theory must be robust everywhere, from quantum particles to galaxy clusters. One stress test: what does it predict about time travel? General relativity, the theory that started this, admits solutions that appear to permit closed time-like curves, paths returning to your own past. This creates tension. GR is smooth and deterministic. Quantum mechanics is probabilistic. Resolving paradoxes may be the key toward uniting them. Paradoxes are loose threads on the sweater of the cosmos. Pull one and you might unravel the whole thing and see how it was woven. That's why physicists take them seriously. The universe has a problem. Our theories allow paradoxes that could tear logic apart. Does the cosmos have a solution? One proposed fix is the Novikov self-consistency principle. Any event inside a time loop must be self-consistent. The universe assigns probability 0 to paradox-causing events. You might aim to kill your grandfather, but the bullet misses. You shove him, but he stumbles to safety. The laws ensure the outcome that keeps history consistent. Novikov allows self-consistent closed loops. The Bootstrap paradox could be valid. The plays exist as a stable feature of space-time with no origin. This preserves causality but implies a deterministic block universe, past, present, and future fixed. Free will feels like an illusion. History reads like a pre-written story. It's satisfying logically but unsettling philosophically. Either the universe edits events to avoid contradictions, or it allows self-consistent loops that change how we think about origin and agency. But what if the universe's solution isn't to forbid change, but to give you a new path to change? This is the many worlds interpretation from quantum mechanics. Every time a quantum event has multiple outcomes, the universe splits, one universe per outcome. You go back, cause the accident, and instead of erasing your history, you create a new divergent universe where your grandfather is dead. Your home timeline is unchanged. Your grandfather lived, you were born. But you are now an orphan of time, stranded in the alternate reality you created. This also handles the Bootstrap paradox. Maybe the traveler created a new timeline where Shakespeare plagiarized, while in the traveler's origin universe, the plays had a different origin. The multiverse preserves free will and avoids contradictions, but at the cost of infinite branching realities. Every trip is a one-way ticket to a new world. We've journeyed from the cosmic tapestry of space-time to the logical black holes of paradoxes, the grandfather and the Bootstrap. These aren't idle fantasies, they're pressure points that force us to rethink causality, information, and the flow of time. If tomorrow a time machine appeared before you, would you get in? Where would you go? Would you watch history as a spectator, risk fracturing reality, or create a new universe? Your answer says a lot about what it means to be human. Keep looking up.